She opened a trunk and found a bleeding Mafia king inside. One choice would change her life forever. Mira hadn't eaten in 2 days. She crouched behind a dumpster in the alley off Camden Street, watching the black sedan idle near the loading dock. The engine was still running. Driver's door open. No one inside. Whoever owned that car had left in a hurry. She waited. Counted to 30. No movement. Her stomach twisted with hunger. She'd learned to ignore it, mostly. But tonight was different. Tonight, desperation had teeth. The trunk was slightly ajar. Mira didn't believe in luck, but she believed in opportunity. And this was one. She moved fast. Kept low. Her sneakers, duct-taped at the sole, barely made a sound on the wet pavement. She reached the car, glanced around once more, then lifted the trunk. Inside was a man. Not supplies. Not money. A man. He was curled on his side, blood soaking through a white dress shirt. His face was pale, jaw clenched. Dark hair stuck to his forehead. His eyes, half open, unfocused, found hers. And for one terrible second, neither of them moved. He didn't look surprised. He looked resigned. "Close it," he said. His voice was rough. Controlled. Like he was giving an order, even while bleeding out. Myra's hand froze on the trunk lid. She should have run. Every instinct screamed at her to run. But she didn't. "You're dying," she said. "I know." He said it so calmly. Like it was a fact. Like he'd already accepted it. Mira looked past him, into the trunk. No weapons. No phone. Just blood. A lot of it. "Who did this to you?" His eyes sharpened. "Just slightly. Does it matter?" "Maybe." He exhaled slowly. Painfully. "You should go." "Why?" "Because if they come back and find you here, they'll kill you too." Mira glanced over her shoulder. The alley was still empty. But the air felt wrong. Charged. Like a storm about to break. She looked back at him. "Can you walk?" He stared at her. For the first time, something flickered behind his eyes. Not hope. Something harder. Suspicion. "Why would you help me?" Good question. Mira didn't have a good answer. She'd been on the streets for 8 months. She'd learned not to trust anyone. Not to get involved. Survival meant staying invisible. But this man, bleeding, trapped, waiting to die, he wasn't asking for help. And maybe that's why she stayed. "I didn't say I would," Mira replied. "I asked if you could walk." His mouth twitched. Almost a smile. Almost. "No." Mira cursed under her breath. She scanned the alley again. Still clear. But not for long. She made a decision. "There's an old warehouse 2 blocks from here. Abandoned. I've been staying there. Why are you telling me this?" "Because I'm going to get you out of this trunk. And you're going to owe me." He studied her. Really looked at her. Torn jacket. Dirty jeans. Hollow cheeks. A girl with nothing. "You don't want to owe me anything," he said quietly. "Maybe not. But you don't get to die in a trunk while I watch." "Why not?" Mira didn't answer. She just reached in, hooked her arms under his shoulders, and pulled. He hissed in pain but didn't cry out. Didn't fight her. Just let her drag him out, inch by inch, until he was slumped against the side of the car. Up close, she could see the wound. Gunshot. Left side. Still bleeding. "Can you stand?" she asked. For about 10 seconds. Then we moved fast. He looked at her one more time. And this time, there was something different in his gaze. Calculation. "What's your name?" he asked. "Mira." "Mira." He repeated it like he was testing the weight of it. Then he nodded once. "Dante." She didn't ask for a last name. Didn't need one. "Lean on me," she said. And he did. They didn't make it 2 blocks. They made it 1.5 before Dante's legs gave out. Mira caught him before he hit the ground, her knees buckling under his weight. He was heavier than he looked. Solid. All muscle and controlled violence, even half dead. "Stay with me," she muttered. "I'm here." His voice was faint, but steady. She dragged him the rest of the way. The warehouse loomed ahead, a gutted shell of rusted metal and broken windows. Mira had claimed a corner on the 2nd floor, behind a stack of old pallets. It wasn't much, but it was dry and hidden. She got him up the stairs. Barely. By the time they reached her spot, Dante was unconscious. Mira lowered him onto the pile of flattened cardboard she used as a bed. His breathing was shallow, skin cold to the touch. She pressed her hand against the wound. Blood seeped through her fingers. "Don't die," she whispered. Not yet. She didn't have bandages. Didn't have medicine. All she had was a half-empty water bottle, a lighter, and a pocket knife. It would have to be enough. She worked fast, ripped his shirt open. The bullet had gone through, clean exit wound on his back. That was good. Less chance of infection. Maybe. Mira poured water over the wound. Dante's eyes snapped open. He didn't scream. Just stared at the ceiling, jaw locked. This is going to hurt, she said. It already does. She used the cleanest piece of fabric she could find, a scrap from an old t-shirt, and pressed it against the wound. Hard. Dante's hand shot out. Grabbed her wrist. His grip was strong. Too strong for someone who'd lost that much blood. Who are you? He asked. I told you. Mira. That's not what I'm asking. She met his gaze. Dark eyes. Unreadable. I'm no one. No one doesn't drag a stranger out of a trunk. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe. He held her stare a moment longer, then released her wrist. Or maybe you're something else. Mira didn't respond. She just kept pressure on the wound until the bleeding slowed. When she was sure he wouldn't bleed out in the next 10 minutes, she sat back, exhausted. Dante watched her. You should have left me, he said. Probably. So why didn't you? Mira looked at him. Really looked. Expensive clothes. Expensive watch. A man used to power. To control. And now he was here, bleeding on cardboard, at the mercy of a homeless girl. I don't know, she admitted. And that was the truth. Dante closed his eyes. But he didn't sleep. They'll come looking for me, he said quietly. Who? People you don't want to meet. Myra's stomach tightened. The ones who shot you? No. The ones who'll want to finish the job. Great. You still have time to walk away. And go where? He opened his eyes. Looked at her. Anywhere but here. Mira shook her head. I don't have anywhere. Something shifted in his expression. Not pity. Something sharper. Understanding. Then we're both trapped, he said. And Mira realized he was right. Dante didn't speak for 3 hours. He just lay there, breathing, watching the shadows move across the ceiling. Mira sat against the wall, knees pulled to her chest. She should have been exhausted, but she couldn't sleep. Not with him there. Not with the weight of what she'd done settling in. Finally, Dante broke the silence. How long have you been out here? Mira didn't look at him. 8 months. Family? Gone. Dead or gone? Does it matter? Yes. She turned her head. Met his gaze. Dead, she said. He nodded slowly. Didn't ask how. Didn't offer condolences. Just accepted it. You're young, he said. I'm 23. Young, he repeated. Mira bristled. And you're what? 30? 35. 34. So not that much older. Old enough. She didn't know what that meant. Didn't ask. Instead, she asked the question that had been burning in her mind since the trunk. What did you do? Dante's eyes darkened. What makes you think I did anything? People don't get shot for no reason. Some do. But not you. He smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. No. Not me. Mira waited. Dante exhaled slowly. Painfully. I made a choice, he said. A bad one. And someone decided I should pay for it. Did you kill someone? Yes. The answer came too easily. Too honest. Myra's breath caught. Recently? No. Then why now? Dante looked at her. And for the first time, she saw something raw in his eyes. Regret. Or maybe just exhaustion. Because the past doesn't stay buried, he said quietly. Mira understood that. More than she wanted to. Are you a criminal? She asked. Yes. Mafia? He tilted his head slightly. Studied her. You're smarter than you look. Thanks, she said dryly. It wasn't an insult. Felt like one. Dante almost smiled. Almost. Yes, he said. Mafia. Myra's pulse quickened. She should have been afraid. Should have run. But she didn't. What do they call you? She asked. Dante. No. I mean, what do they call you? He understood. Il-Re, he said softly. The king. Myra's blood went cold. She'd heard that name. On the streets. Whispered in alleys. A ghost story. A warning. The king didn't forgive. Didn't forget. And now he was bleeding in her warehouse. Why didn't you tell me? She whispered. Would it have changed anything? Mira thought about it. No. Dante's eyes softened. Just slightly. That's why I told you now. They sat in silence. And for the first time since she'd found him, Mira felt the full weight of what she'd done. She hadn't just saved a man. She'd saved a monster. Would you trust him? Morning came slowly. Gray light filtered through the broken windows. Dante was still alive. Pale. weak, but alive. Mira had stayed awake all night, watching, waiting. For what, she wasn't sure. When Dante's eyes opened, he didn't look surprised to see her there. "You're still here," he said. "Where else would I be? Smart people would have run. Guess I'm not smart." He almost smiled. Then he tried to sit up. His face twisted in pain, but he forced himself upright, leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Mira moved closer. "You shouldn't." "I'm fine." "You're not." He looked at her. And this time, there was something different in his eyes. "Respect. Maybe." "I need to make a call," he said. "You don't have a phone." "I know where there's one. You can barely stand." "I'll manage." Mira shook her head. "You move, you bleed. You bleed, you die. And I didn't waste a night keeping you alive just so you could kill yourself being stubborn." Dante stared at her. Then slowly he leaned back. "Fine. You make the call." "Me?" "You. I don't even know who to call." He reached into his pocket, pulled out a bloodstained business card, handed it to her. The name on the card was simple, Victor. "Tell him where I am," Dante said. "Tell him I'm alive. He'll handle the rest." Mira looked at the card, then at him. "And what happens to me?" Dante's expression didn't change. "Nothing. I don't believe you." "You should." "Why?" "Because I don't lie." Mira laughed. It was bitter. "Tired. You're a criminal. Lying is what you do. Not to people who've saved my life." She wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to. But trust was expensive. And Mira had learned not to spend what she didn't have. "What if I don't make the call?" she asked. Dante's eyes darkened. "Then I die. And you'll have a body in your warehouse. Better than having your people come after me." "They won't." "How do you know?" "Because I'll tell them not to." Mira searched his face, looking for the lie. She didn't find one. "Why would you protect me?" she asked quietly. Dante was silent for a long moment. Then he said, "Because you didn't have to help me. But you did. And that means something." "To who?" "To me." Myra's throat tightened. She looked down at the card in her hand. Then she made a decision. "If I do this," she said, "I want something in return." Dante raised an eyebrow. "What?" "A job." He blinked. "A job?" "Yes." "Doing what?" "I don't care. Cleaning. Cooking. Whatever. I need to get off the streets." Dante studied her, long and hard. "You don't know what you're asking." "Yes, I do." "No, you don't." Myra's jaw tightened. "I've been homeless for 8 months. I've been cold, hungry, scared. I've done things I'm not proud of just to survive. So don't tell me I don't know what I'm asking. I know exactly what I'm asking." Dante didn't look away. "Working for me is dangerous. So is living on the streets. People will try to hurt you. People already have. This is different." "How?" "Because if you work for me, you become a target. And I can't always protect you." Mira leaned forward, looked him dead in the eyes. "I'm not asking you to protect me. I'm asking you to give me a chance." Dante held her gaze. Then slowly he nodded. "Okay." Myra's heart skipped. "Okay. Make the call. Get me out of here. And I'll give you a job." She didn't trust it, didn't trust him. But she took the deal anyway. Because sometimes survival meant gambling on monsters. What would you do in her place? The payphone was 6 blocks away. Mira moved fast, head down, hands in her pockets. She'd learned to be invisible. It was a skill, one that kept her alive. The phone booth smelled like piss and cigarettes. She fed it quarters, stolen from a vending machine 2 days ago, and dialed the number on the card. It rang twice. Then a voice answered. "Who is this?" Deep, cold, dangerous. Myra's throat went dry. "I'm calling for Dante." Silence. Then, "Where is he?" "Alive." "That's not what I asked." Myra's pulse hammered. "He's safe. For now." "Who are you?" "Someone who helped him." "Why?" "Good question." Mira still didn't have a good answer. "Because he needed it." Another pause. "Longer this time." "Put him on." "He can't talk. He's hurt." "How bad?" "Gunshot. Left side. He's stable. But he needs a doctor." The voice on the other end shifted. Less cold. More calculating. "Where are you?" Mira hesitated. This was it. The point of no return. She gave him the address. "Don't move," the voice said. "I'll be there in 20 minutes." The line went dead. Mira hung up, stared at the phone. Then she ran. By the time she got back to the warehouse, Dante was awake, watching the door. "Did you call?" he asked. Yes. And? He's coming. Dante nodded. Relaxed slightly. Mira sat down, caught her breath. What happens now? She asked. Now we wait. And then? Then you get what you asked for. Mira looked at him. You really meant it? The job. I don't say things I don't mean. Even to strangers? Especially to strangers. She didn't understand him. Didn't understand why he'd agree. Why he'd trust her. But she didn't push. 18 minutes later, they heard footsteps. Mira tensed. Reached for her knife. Dante's hand shot out. Stopped her. It's okay, he said quietly. The door opened. 3 men walked in. The first was tall. Mid-40s. Silver hair. Cold eyes. He looked at Dante. Then at Mira. You're the girl, he asked. Mira nodded. He studied her. Long and hard. Then he turned to Dante. You look like shit. I've been better, Victor. Victor crouched down. Checked the wound. His expression didn't change. You'll live. Good to know. Victor stood. Gestured to the other 2 men. They moved quickly. Efficiently. Lifted Dante like he weighed nothing. Dante hissed in pain but didn't complain. Victor looked at Mira again. Come with us. Why? Because Dante said so. Mira glanced at Dante. He nodded once. She followed. They didn't take her to a hospital. They took her to a mansion. Mira had never seen anything like it. Iron gates. Marble floors. Chandeliers that cost more than most people made in a year. She felt small. Out of place. Victor led her to a sitting room. Told her to wait. She did. For 2 hours. When the door finally opened, it wasn't Victor. It was Dante. He was cleaned up. Bandaged. Still pale. But standing. Mira stood. You should be resting. I've rested enough. You were shot 12 hours ago. I'm aware. He crossed the room. Slowly. Carefully. Then he held out his hand. Mira stared at it. What's this? She asked. A deal, Dante said. You saved my life. I'm giving you a new one. Mira looked at his hand. Then at his face. What's the catch? You work for me. You live here. You follow my rules. And if I don't, then you're free to leave. No strings. Mira didn't believe in free. Nothing was ever free. But she was tired. Hungry. Desperate. And maybe, just maybe, this was the chance she'd been waiting for. She took his hand. Okay. Dante smiled. A real smile this time. Welcome home, Mira. And for the first time in 8 months, Mira felt something she'd forgotten. Hope. Is he protecting her, or controlling her? The room they gave her was bigger than the apartment she'd grown up in. Mira stood in the doorway, frozen. King-sized bed. Clean sheets. A bathroom with running water. It felt like a dream. It's yours, Victor said from behind her. Mira turned. Why? Because Dante said so. That's not an answer. Victor's expression didn't change. It's the only one you're getting. He left. Mira stepped inside. Closed the door. She didn't touch anything. Not yet. Instead, she stood in the center of the room and tried to process what had just happened. 24 hours ago, she'd been sleeping on cardboard. Starving. Invisible. Now she was here. In a mansion. With a job. With a criminal. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So she did neither. She just sat on the edge of the bed and waited. An hour later, there was a knock. Mira opened the door. A woman stood there. Older. 50s maybe. Kind eyes. I'm Rosa, she said. I run the house. Mira. I know. Dante told me. Rosa stepped inside, carrying a tray. Soup. Bread. Water. Myra's stomach twisted with hunger. Eat, Rosa said gently. You look half-starved. I am. Rosa's expression softened. She set the tray on the bed. Then she pulled a chair over and sat down. I'm going to be honest with you, Rosa said. This place, it's not normal. The people here aren't normal. And if you stay, your life won't be normal either. Mira picked up the soup. Took a sip. It was the best thing she'd ever tasted. I don't need normal, she said. I just need safe. Safe is relative here. What does that mean? Rosa hesitated. Then she said, it means Dante will protect you. But only if you follow the rules. What rules? Don't ask questions. Don't leave the grounds without permission. Don't talk to anyone outside this house about what you see or hear. Mira set the soup down. Sounds like a prison. It's not. But it's not freedom either. Then what is it? Rosa looked at her. Really looked. Survival, she said quietly. Same as the streets. Just a different kind. Mira understood. She picked up the soup again. Finished it. I can handle that, she said. Rosa smiled. Good. Because Dante doesn't give second chances. That night, Mira couldn't sleep. She lay in the bed, too soft, too clean, and stared at the ceiling. Her mind wouldn't stop. What had she done? What had she agreed to? She thought about running. Sneaking out. Disappearing. But where would she go? Back to the streets? Back to nothing? No. She'd made her choice. Now she had to live with it. The next morning, there was another knock. Mira opened the door. Dante stood there, dressed in a black suit, looking like he hadn't been shot at all. You're up, he said. Couldn't sleep. Neither could I. He stepped inside, looked around the room. Do you like it? He asked. It's a lot. Too much. I don't know yet. Dante nodded. Fair. He moved to the window, looked out at the grounds. I have a job for you, he said. Myra's heart skipped. Already? Yes. What is it? Dante turned, met her eyes. I need someone I can trust. Someone who's not part of this world. Someone who won't betray me. Why me? Because you didn't have to help me. But you did. And that tells me something. What? That you're loyal. Even when it costs you. Myra's throat tightened. I'm not loyal, she said. I'm just desperate. Maybe. But desperation doesn't make people kind. You were kind. That's rare. Mira didn't know what to say. Dante crossed the room, stood in front of her. I'm going to ask you to do things you won't like, he said quietly. I'm going to put you in situations that are dangerous. And I can't promise you'll always be safe. Then why keep me here? Because I think you're stronger than you know. Mira looked up at him, and for the first time, she saw something in his eyes that wasn't calculation. It was belief. What do you need me to do? She asked. Dante smiled. For now, just stay alive. Mira learned the rules quickly. Don't go into Dante's office without knocking. Don't talk to Victor unless he talks to you first. Don't leave the mansion grounds. Don't ask about the men who came and went at all hours. Don't ask about the phone calls, the meetings, the envelopes full of cash. Just stay quiet. Stay invisible. It was easy. She'd been doing it her whole life. But there was one rule she struggled with. Don't get close to Dante. Rosa had told her that on the third day. He's not your friend, Rosa said. He's your employer. Remember that. Mira nodded. But it was hard to remember when Dante kept showing up. Not in a romantic way. Not even in a friendly way. Just there. He'd find her in the kitchen at midnight. Sit across from her. Say nothing. He'd pass her in the hallway. Nod once. Keep walking. He'd stand in the doorway of her room. Ask if she needed anything. Leave before she could answer. It was strange. Uncomfortable. And weirdly comforting. On the fifth night, Mira found him in the library. He was sitting in a leather chair, staring at a chessboard. The pieces were set up mid-game. But he wasn't playing. Just staring. Mira hesitated in the doorway. You can come in, Dante said without looking up. She stepped inside. How did you know I was there? I always know. Mira sat down across from him. Looked at the board. Do you play? He asked. No. Want to learn. Why? Because it's useful. For what? Thinking 3 moves ahead. Mira studied the board. The black and white pieces. The controlled chaos. Is that what you do? She asked. Think 3 moves ahead? Always. Must be exhausting. Dante looked up. Met her eyes. It is. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Mira asked the question that had been burning in her mind all week. Why did you really bring me here? Dante's expression didn't change. I told you. I need someone I can trust. But you don't trust me. Not really. Not yet. Then why? Because I want to. Myra's breath caught. Dante leaned back. Studied her. You don't belong in this world, he said quietly. But you survived yours. That takes strength. Intelligence. Instinct. All things I need. Or you just feel guilty. Maybe. Mira blinked. She hadn't expected honesty. About what? She asked. Dante was silent for a long moment. Then he said, about the fact that you saved my life, and I repaid you by dragging you into mine. Myra's throat tightened. I chose this, she said. Did you? Or did you just choose not to starve? He was right, and they both knew it. Mira looked away. I don't regret it, she said quietly. Dante's eyes softened. You might. Maybe. But not yet. He almost smiled. Then he stood, walked to the window. There's something you should know, he said. What? The people who shot me? They're still out there. And they're looking for me. Myra's stomach dropped. Do they know I'm here? Not yet. But they will. Eventually. Mira stood. Crossed the room. Stood beside him. What happens when they find out? Dante didn't look at her. I protect you. How? By making sure they never get close. Myra's pulse quickened. And if they do? Dante finally turned. Looked down at her. His eyes were dark. Cold. But there was something else there too. Something protective. Then they die, he said simply. And Mira believed him. Do you think this is love or survival? 2 weeks passed. Mira settled into a routine. She helped Rosa with the house. Learned to cook. Learned to keep her head down. She saw Dante every day. But they rarely spoke. Just existed in the same space. It was strange. Comfortable. Until Victor showed up. He found her in the garden. She was trimming roses, something Rosa had taught her. Dante wants to see you, Victor said. Myra's hands stilled. Why? He'll tell you. She followed him inside. To Dante's office. The door was open. Dante was standing by the window. Hands in his pockets. He didn't turn when she entered. Close the door, he said. Mira did. Victor left. It was just the two of them. Sit, Dante said. Mira sat. Dante finally turned. Looked at her. I need you to do something for me. Myra's stomach tightened. What? I need you to deliver a message. To who? Someone dangerous. Myra's pulse quickened. Why me? Because you're invisible. No one knows who you are. No one will suspect you. Suspect me of what? Dante crossed the room. Sat on the edge of his desk. There's a man. His name is Luca Moretti. He runs the West Side. He's the one who ordered the hit on me. Myra's blood went cold. And you want me to deliver a message. That's all. What kind of message? Dante pulled an envelope from his pocket. Handed it to her. Mira didn't take it. What's in it? She asked. A warning. And if he doesn't listen? He will. How do you know? Dante's eyes darkened. Because if he doesn't, I'll kill him. Mira stared at the envelope. This was it. The moment she'd been dreading. The moment she had to choose. Stay safe. Stay quiet. Or step into Dante's world completely. Why me? She asked again. Dante leaned forward. Looked her dead in the eyes. Because I trust you. Myra's breath caught. You said you didn't. I said not yet. But I do now. Why? Because you've had 2 weeks to run. To betray me. To take what I've given you and disappear. And I didn't. Exactly. Mira looked at the envelope again. Then at Dante. What if something goes wrong? Victor will be watching. If anything happens, he'll get you out. And if he can't? Dante's jaw tightened. Then I will. Mira believed him. She took the envelope. When? She asked. Tomorrow night. Mira nodded. Dante stood. Walked to the door. Opened it. Then he stopped. Mira. She looked at him. Thank you. And for the first time, Mira realized something. She wasn't just working for Dante. She was becoming part of his world. And there was no going back. The address was a restaurant in Little Italy. Mira walked in at exactly 9 p.m. The place was loud. Crowded. The smell of garlic and wine filled the air. She spotted him immediately. Luca Moretti. Mid-50s. Expensive suit. Surrounded by men who looked like they killed for a living. Myra's hands trembled. She forced them to stop. She walked to the table. Stood in front of him. Luca looked up. His eyes narrowed. Can I help you? He asked. Mira placed the envelope on the table. From Dante. The entire table went silent. Luca stared at the envelope. Then at her. Who are you? He asked. No one. No one doesn't walk into my restaurant and put an envelope on my table. Mira didn't respond. Luca picked up the envelope. Opened it. Read. His expression didn't change. But something flickered in his eyes. Fear. Or respect. Maybe both. He looked at Mira. Tell Dante I got his message. Mira nodded. Turned to leave. Wait, Luca said. She stopped. You're braver than you look. Mira didn't respond. She just walked out. Victor was waiting outside. How'd it go? He asked. Fine. He didn't hurt you? No. Victor studied her. Then nodded. Good. Get in the car. They drove back in silence. When they arrived, Dante was waiting in the foyer. Did he get it? He asked. Yes. And? He said he got your message. Dante nodded. Satisfied. Then he looked at her. Really looked. Are you okay? Mira blinked. What? Are you okay? He repeated. No one had asked her that in months. I'm fine, she said. Dante didn't look convinced. But he didn't push. You did well, he said quietly. Mira nodded. Then she went to her room. And for the first time since she'd arrived, she locked the door. That night, Mira dreamed of the trunk. Of blood. Of Dante's eyes. Of the choice she'd made. She woke up gasping. And found Dante sitting in the chair by her bed. What are you doing here? She whispered. You were screaming. Myra's face flushed. It's okay. He stood. Moved to leave. Wait, Mira said. He stopped. Why do you keep checking on me? Dante was silent for a long moment. Then he said, because I know what it's like to be afraid. And I don't want you to be afraid here. Myra's throat tightened. I'm not afraid of you. You should be. Why? Because I'm dangerous. So am I. Dante looked at her. And for the first time he smiled. A real smile. Maybe you are, he said. And then he left. Is he protecting her, or controlling her? Things changed after the delivery. Dante started including her in meetings. Not as a participant. Just there. Sitting in the corner. Listening. Learning. Mira didn't understand why at first. Then she realized. He was training her. Teaching her how his world worked. The rules. The players. The power dynamics. She absorbed it all. And Dante noticed. You're smarter than I thought, he said one night. They were in the library again. Chessboard between them. Mira had finally agreed to learn. Is that a compliment? She asked. Yes. Doesn't feel like one. Dante moved a pawn. Most people don't see the game. They just react. But you see it. See what? The patterns. The strategy. Mira moved her knight. I've been surviving my whole life. Strategy isn't optional. Dante studied the board. Then he looked at her. You're wasted on the streets. I'm not on the streets anymore. No, you're not. Something passed between them. Not romantic. Not even friendly. Just recognition. Two people who understood survival. Why did you really bring me here? Mira asked quietly. Dante leaned back. Studied her. I told you. Tell me again. He was silent for a long time. Then he said, because I wanted to see if someone like you could exist in a world like mine. And you can. Myra's heart skipped. What does that mean? It means you're not leaving. It wasn't a question. It was a statement. And Mira didn't argue. Because he was right. She wasn't leaving. Not anymore. 3 weeks after the delivery, everything fell apart. Mira was in the kitchen when Victor burst in. Where's Dante? He demanded. Office. Why? Victor didn't answer. Just ran. Mira followed. She found them in the office. Dante was on the phone. His face was stone. Understood, he said. Then he hung up. He looked at Victor. They know. How? Luca talked. Victor cursed. Myra's stomach dropped. Know what? Dante's eyes found hers. They know you delivered the message. They know you're here. Myra's blood went cold. What does that mean? It means you're a target now. Why? Because you're close to me. And people think that's a weakness they can exploit. Myra's pulse hammered. What do we do? Dante stood. Walked to the window. You stay here. Don't leave the grounds. Don't go anywhere without Victor. For how long? Until I handle it. How? Dante turned. His eyes were cold. Dark. By making sure they never come for you again. And Mira knew what that meant. He was going to kill them. All of them. That night, Dante didn't sleep. Mira found him in the library at 3 a.m. You should rest, she said. Can't. Why? He looked at her. Because if I sleep, I stop thinking. And if I stop thinking, I miss something. And if I miss something, you die. Myra's breath caught. I'm not your responsibility. Yes, you are. Why? Dante stood. Crossed the room. Stood in front of her. Because I brought you into this. And that means I protect you. No matter what. Mira looked up at him. Even if it costs you? Especially if it costs me. Her throat tightened. I don't understand you. I know. You're a criminal. A killer. You should only care about yourself. I used to. What changed? Dante's eyes softened. You did. And Mira felt something shift. Something she'd been fighting since the trunk. She cared about him. Not because he saved her. Not because he gave her a home. But because he saw her. Really saw her. And that was more dangerous than any bullet. The meeting was at a warehouse on the docks. Neutral ground. Dante brought Victor and 3 other men. Mira stayed in the car, watching, waiting. Through the window she could see them. Dante, and 5 other men she didn't recognize. They were talking, tense, controlled. Then one of the men pulled a gun. Myra's heart stopped. Victor moved first. Shot him. Chaos erupted. Gunfire. Shouting. Mira didn't think. She grabbed the gun Dante had given her. Ran inside. She found Dante pinned behind a crate. Blood on his arm. "What the hell are you doing here?" he shouted. "Saving you." Mira fired. Took down one of the men. Dante stared at her. "You're insane." "I know." They fought their way out. Together. By the time the smoke cleared, 4 men were dead. Dante's men were alive. Mira was shaking. Dante pulled her close. "Don't ever do that again," he said. "I will if I have to." He kissed her. Hard. Fast. "I love you," he said. "I know." And they walked out. Together. 3 months later. Mira stood in the garden, watching the sunset. Dante came up behind her, wrapped his arms around her. "Thinking," he asked. "Always." "About what?" "About how different my life is now." "Good different or bad different?" Mira smiled. "Both." Dante kissed her temple. "Do you regret it?" "No." "Do you?" "Never." They stood there, silent, safe, for now, because in their world, peace was temporary. But love was permanent, and that was enough. The end. Would you stay in this world, or walk away?